Okay, we're gonna now talk about plants which plants which like a wee bit of shelter, and this polycrop suitable for storm force winds of 100 miles per hour. So anywhere in Scotland it can grow. You can grow things in polycrops and polytunnels out of season. Through the winter you get a crop of this, that, and the other. In terms of herbs, they're brilliant for more delicate plants like basils, and there's quite a number of different species of basil, but most of them are annuals and they're slightly tender. They don't like temperatures below 10 degrees at night, so not many would enjoy Scotland. Having said that, there are hardy varieties of basil, and which will grow outside, and that's the sacred basil, or Tulsi, which comes from the mountains of the Himalayas, and it's got a more clove-like scent and aroma, and it's great for herb teas. All basils contain antiseptics, which are good for cleansing the system. But the more common sweet basil is best grown as an annual and put in a polytunnel, and it'll be fine there, provided you can keep the door shut and the temperature's up above 10 degrees. The other unusual basil that we grow on the Black Isle is African blue perennial basil, which is again quite hardy and goes on from year to year. So you can see it through the winter in a warm place on a sunny window next to a radiator, and that's a big basil. It grows about 2 feet high and flowers profusely. So if you're into large quantities of basil for pizzas and spaghettis, basil, what do you use that for?
Yes, as you said, in tomato sauce, tomato soup, very good. In case of African blue, you can strip off those flowers and buds, and you can sprinkle it to the soup or sauce or salad. It's quite fragrant. And then African blue basil, you can cook a little bit in the sauce, and then more flavor comes out. So it is very good herb to have.
Yeah, and easy to grow in shelter and protection. So moving on to more plants which like a wee bit of shelter. Lemongrass, which is like a grass. You sow it out, or you buy a plant and pot it up into a container on its own, perhaps 9 inches in diameter, and grow it on in shelter. And lemongrass, you cut and use it in fresh herb teas, in fish dishes, salads. What would you use lemongrass for?
People call lemongrass, but I think that is a citronella actually.
Citronella is similar to lemongrass. It's a different species, just a larger stemmed type of Cymbopogon, which is the Latin name for both lemongrass and citronella. So citronella is used in Thai cookery, and perhaps in.
And then I like Chinese dumplings, and then chopped up with the citronella and loads of ginger, chop up, and then little bit of garlic chives you chop up, and then put the shrimp or something in, and then toasted sesame oil, salt and pepper, mix, and then wrap. And that makes a lovely Chinese dumplings.
No, it sounds delicious. I'm getting hungry about it. I don't know about anyone else. Okay, staying with the lemons, let's move on to lem verbena. This is a deciduous shrub from South America, from Chile, and you find it in herb gardens and herb nurseries. By deciduous shrub, I mean the leaves drop in the winter. So don't be too concerned if you're growing it and the leaves fall off in December. The young buds will re-emerge in April. So you grow it in a container or a bed, like a raised bed here we have in the polycrop. It'll grow. It's quite a big shrub, grow about 6 feet high, and you use that fresh in herb teas and
herb teas.
Herb teas,
just,
yeah.
And when weather is very hot, it is very good to have lemon verbena tea.
Again, we move on to another lemon myrtle from Australia. This is a small tree that the Aborigines use quite a lot in their fish dishes and for medicine. And it's great. It's an evergreen shrub or tree. Again, grows in a container. Keep it in a polycrop in Scotland, because remember it's from Australia. And you can use the leaves fresh or dried. And if you dry the leaves and powder them, and then before you roast the tatty, roll the tatty in these dried lemon myrtle leaves, you never want to eat any other type of tatty ever again. It's so tasty. So that's lemon myrtle, and I think that's some of the other things. But we can move on to more exotic things like Vietnamese coriander, which is again a half-hardy perennial, and that will grow in a polytunnel, and the leaves can be used in curries. So how would you use Vietnamese coriander leaf?
Yeah, you said curry. So it has very strong taste. So you have to chop it up in small pieces, and in the end you add it. You can use it for curry, and then other thing I use was that for Chinese cooking, like sweet and sour sauce, omelette, sweet and sour, tofu, fried tofu or something. In the end, I add on top, and it gives good, interesting taste to the dish.
Yep, and then if you're into growing your own spices, then it's perfectly possible in a polycrop like this to grow ginger, the tropical ginger, the rhizome that's used with garlic so much, and turmeric as well, which is a similar to ginger. It's the same family, and used for curries and spices and all sorts of exotic things. So if you have this sort of protective polycrop or polytunnel, you can grow a much wider range of plants. So that's just a general introduction to what can be achieved with this sort of wonderful technology from Shetland.